Well, g'day. We're here at River Rock Mountains Hip Camp here near Gloucester in the northern part of the Hunter Valley, New South Wales. Just cooking some breakfast up on the Weber and going to have some bacon and eggs and some toast with it. And this morning I'm going to take you through our caravan. We've got the Trax Series 2 off-roader from On The Move Caravans. It's a fully off-road caravan, and we're just going to go through the reasons for why I bought a full off-road caravan. We've been fully off-grid now for 2.5 days. We've been having beautiful hot showers. We've got self-contained with the toilet. We've got the diesel heater to keep us warm at night. It's been really cool of nights. We've got the Weber, which pulls out to make it nice and easy for breakfast when you're cooking. And we've got all the tables and chairs and whatever. So just after breakfast I'll take you through and show you what we do. Just check this bacon. Yep, perfect. So I'll just take you through and show you MAXX. Okay, let's get started. Now, the information I'm about to tell you is sort of based on my experience. There are numerous caravanning people out there who already have their setups, already have knowledge, and are probably far more knowledgeable than what I am. So if you want to sort of add comments to the bottom, please do. Add your knowledge. That way we can all share and become smarter and safer in what we do. So this video is probably aimed at those who are considering in buying a caravan and haven't actually made that big purchase as yet. People will know us, remember the days when we used to have a little 11-foot Millard. It was a little 1977 model, and it's a tiny little thing called Millie, and it's where our caravanning career began. We bought the small little 11-foot Millard to tow behind our E.H. Holden, and we did a few trips away, and it was amazing. Of course, before we had Millie, we had the tent days. But as we've sort of gained a few years, we're looking for a bit more comfort. We've now upgraded. So we went looking at caravans, and as anyone who's looking at caravans would know, there are many on the market. The first thing to think about is, what sort of caravan do you need to buy? What are you going to do with it? Are you going to go to caravan parks only, or are you going to go to off-grid? When we went to purchase MAXX, the salesman said to us, what are you going to do with your caravan? He said, are you going to just go to caravan parks, or are you going to go and explore Australia out in the wilderness? We thought, oh yeah, that's what we want to do. Yeah, that's it. So basically, that's how we ended up with an off-road caravan. Fully self-contained weapon. Absolutely fantastic. We've had it now for just over 2 years. Can't fault it. However, when you do buy an off-road caravan, it adds the weight. You need the big off-road independent suspension. You need the extra 6-inch drawbars. You need the solar panels. You need the batteries, the water tanks, the extra tyre in case you have a blowout of one tyre. You really kind of need a second one when you're out the back of nowhere. So you need the big stone guards, and also you need to carry tools. Now when you're out the back of nowhere and something goes wrong, sometimes there's nobody around. So think about the amount of tools that you need to take. Now of course, all this is weight. When you have an off-road van, normally they're maxed out at 3.5 tonne. To tow 3.5 tonne legally, and it's becoming a big issue at the moment, as we're all starting to find out, you need a larger tow vehicle. The lighter vans, yep, most vehicles will comfortably tow it and legally tow it. But when you start getting these larger vans and throwing all the stuff in that we throw in, you need something decent to tow it, and that's why we chose the Ram. It has a 4.5 tonne towing, But having said that, 4.5 tonne, you're still then limited the way the 3.5 tonnes are limited, because larger your van, more the tow ball weight, less the payload. Yeah, so I love the Ram 4.5 tonne towing with a 3.5 tonne van. It allows us to carry the maximum load in the caravan, and we still have a huge payload in the Ram. Okay, let's look at what we do. So therefore, off-road means the off-road hitch. The DO35 basically comes in, clips on the car, and fully articulated hitch. So the caravan can move however it likes. Now you have your normal handbrake, you have your safety chains, and your jockey wheel. Now this is brand new, we only purchased it last weekend from Supercheap. Originally we had the old sort of wind up cranking type jockey wheel, really good. However, we've come across these sidewinders now, and I don't know if the gearing's better or what it is, it just seems to work a lot easier. So when you're cranking her up and down, a lot less stress. And really at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, trying to reduce the amount of work you do when you're out in the outdoors. Stone guard, it's copped a caning. As you've seen some of our videos, we've been out to the Eyre Peninsula last year. We travelled mainly on dirt roads. Absolutely amazing area of Australia. So if you get a chance, Eyre Peninsula is one for the tick list. 2 gas bottles. At the moment I think this one's empty because the other day our Weber stopped, so I need to replace that. And the beauty of having 2, of course, is flick the switch, chuck the second one on, and while you're using the second one, go and get the first one refilled. We have the Thule bike rack. Now this is amazing. It sits up here on our toolbox, and we strap our bikes on and away you go. Just have a little look up here. Basically I jump up here, Nat passes the bikes up, and I just bolt them on. Nice and sturdy. This one's actually designed for caravans, and it's actually designed to be on your A-frame at the front, because it has a little clip here that then this whole arm can bend forward. So for all those caravans that has the front boot on the caravan, you want to get to it, this is the type of bike rack you need. So you don't have to unload the bike racks to get to your front boot. You just unclip it, fold it forward, and it's great. And there's a safety wire if you do, so you don't lose control of it. So yeah, bike rack's great. Again, weight. So now I have a toolbox in there, and what I actually have in the toolbox, not only a portable generator, which we'll talk about power in a sec, but also, and of course it's locked. Okay, now that I've unlocked it, well, I have a habit of locking everything up all the time. It's just, you don't want things to go missing. You spend a lot of money on your toys, and you kind of want them in the one place, and at the place to come back to where you left them. So anyway, in here, yep, you picked it. It's a spare cassette for the toilet. Now, when you're off grid for a week or two, you kind of need a spare cassette. Last thing you want to do is to go out and dig a hole somewhere. It's probably illegal anyway. But yes, a spare cassette so you can sort of store the excess until you find a dump spot around the place. And as we've been traveling around, lots and lots of towns out there with dump spots. Lots and lots of towns out there in regional Australia who are now catering for this lifestyle with water. Sometimes it's free, sometimes you just pay $1 or so in the machine, and dump spots. So yes, for those who haven't travelled around, yep, lots out there. Also in here I have my levelling treads, which will stick under the tyres. Actually, having said that, This, for those who haven't seen one of these, this is very handy for dual axle caravans. Basically what you do is that comes apart. So grab this, wander down, and you can shove it in here, drive your caravan on, and then you stick your second section in. Of course, single axle caravans, you can just have the normal one piece, but yeah, great invention, this one, for dual axle caravans. So there you go, that's a couple of tips for you. Alrighty, now one of probably the first decisions you need to make when you do have the off-road van is your power. Now MAXX has two 150 watt solar panels on the roof and two 100 amp AGM batteries. That's probably the minimum amount that you need. A little bit more would be good at times. We go through about 40% of charge each day and night, running, you know, the TV, the outside lights, the 12 volt compressor fridge. If you have a three-way fridge and it runs off gas, then of course you don't use as much of your battery power, but then you use your gas. So you can replace your battery power, you can't replace gas if you're out in the back of nowhere. So it's just a couple of things to consider even when you're sort of sizing up the fridge that you want. Now with MAXX, we have elected to only have the two panels on the roof, and we carry an additional portable panel. Now the reason for this is if you happen to park under a tree, which is maybe not a good idea if limbs do fall and do bad things to roofs of caravans, but if you're under a tree in the shade, or you have a couple of dark days, then your batteries are going to slowly deplete away and you end up with no power. So it doesn't really matter how many solar panels you have. If you haven't got sun, then you can't recharge. So that's just something to think about. To sort that little problem out is we've opted to get a portable generator. Now we've got the little Yamaha. It's the inverter generator, and they have 2000 IS. The reason I chose this one is because it's probably one of the quietest in dB. It's a little bit smaller than others, therefore it's lighter, and all we use it for is basically just recharging the batteries. It has the power of the generator to power your microwave and your air conditioner, and I haven't tried it, but I'm sure it will also power the washing machine. Those three devices are of course a 240 volt input, so you can't use them on battery, but with a generator you can. So when we're off the grid and we don't have the luxury of sun for a few days, then out comes the generator to top up the batteries. Now this one is great. Of course there are numerous other models and brand out there, but we just chose the Yamaha because, yeah, as I was saying, it's one of the quietest and it's one of the lightest. So something to consider if you're going to be off grid for a period of time. You may need something additional to solar panels. The new lithium batteries, I'm hearing, are becoming more cost effective. They charge a lot quicker and they are lighter. So I'm considering down the track is replacing my AGMs with lithium.